Welcome, everyone, to Heartbeat Theater. This is the sound of trouble. It will strike relentlessly, with unerring accuracy at all men, everywhere in the world, sometime in their life. To meet this challenge, wherever it strikes, whatever its nature, an ever-vigilant corps of men and women stand ready to do battle. The soldiers of the Salvation Army, with heart to God and hand to man. From Hollywood, the Salvation Army presents Heartbeat Theater. Stories of the widespread, vital, and necessary work of the dedicated men and women of this worldwide organization. This is your host, C.P. McGregor, inviting you to be our guest for the next half hour. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, they say. It's only skin deep. Handsome is as handsome does. You can't judge a book by its cover. Easy enough to say, perhaps, but how easy is it to believe all this when you have to? Billy Carlin found it all but impossible to accept, but he had to, or else spend his life running from the jeers and raucous shouts of double ugly that the world threw at him. He found a way, and that's the theme of our story, Double Ugly, written by Jerry Zinnemann and starring Dave Duvall as Billy. Here's Act One.
I'm not ugly. I'm good. I'm good.
The school nurse says that we ought to think about plastic surgery for Billy. She says they do a lot these days and that it's very helpful.
He doesn't need it. He'll grow out of it.
Well, she says she doesn't think so.
What is she, some kind of fortune teller? How does she know?
She talks as if she did.
Yeah, well, if she's so hot, what's she doing working as a school nurse? Look, Billy's no different than any other kid.
Well, although he is our own, he's not the most attractive child in the world.
What do you want, a movie star?
Oh, no, not that, but it's getting so the other children make fun of him.
Who? Who made fun of him?
Well, I don't know who exactly, but he's come home several times crying that the other children run after him and call him ugly.
Listen, the next time you find out who, I'll go have a talk with his father. We'll put a stop to that.
You won't be able to fight his battles forever.
You're darn right I won't. I'm going to start teaching him how to take care of himself. From now on, nobody's going to pick on my kid. Billy! Billy! Billy!
Huh?
I want to talk to you.
I'm reading.
Well, put it down.
Okay. What?
Your mother tells me the other kids have been giving you a rough time. Is that right? Well, yes or no?
I guess so.
Well, what do you do?
Nothing.
Well, you're gonna start.
What do you mean?
I mean the next time anybody starts to give you a hard way to go, whap, right in the mouth.
Huh?
You're gonna stand right up to 'em and belt 'em one.
You mean fight?
Certainly I mean fight.
I don't want to.
You mean you want to keep running away all your life?
No.
Then you gotta fight. If somebody begins to crowd you, you drop one on them in a hurry. Ask questions later. Now come on, make a fist out of your left hand there and stick your arm out in front of you.
But I don't like to fight.
You like people calling you names, saying you're ugly, do you?
No.
And there's only one way to stop them.
Only one?
Only one that they'll really understand.
Well, okay.
All right, good. Now, the first thing you gotta learn is how to jab. And you put that left right in their face, see? And you... Are you paying attention to me?
Sure.
You're looking at that book again. Let me have it.
Here.
Famous fables and fairy tales. What are you reading junk like that for anyway?
I don't know. I like it.
Once upon a time, there was an ugly toad who was really a handsome young prince. Will you please tell me what you can possibly find to like about stuff like that? I'd really like to know.
Well, I'll hate leaving Oakview, but maybe the change will be good for Billy.
Yeah, maybe.
He might not be so self-conscious in a new town.
I don't know what's the matter with him. He'd find trouble if he were locked in an empty room. As a matter of fact, that's about the only place he's happy.
Well, can you blame him?
Are you going to start on that ugly kick again? If you ask me, that's a whole lot of his trouble. You keep feeling sorry for him and making him feel sorry for himself.
And you keep telling him to punch the first person who looks sideways at him. Is that any better solution?
Well, maybe a new town and new friends will straighten him out.
Oh, I hope you're right. You don't know how much I hope so.
Hey, did you get a look at that new kid? Wow!
Yeah, the original I was a teenage house haunter.
Maybe he's from outer space.
Hey, come on, let's have some fun. Hey! Yeah, you! Come here a minute.
Hi.
You're new around here, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Where you from?
Oakview?
Freddie here's saying he thought you were from Mars or someplace. Are you?
No.
Maybe he's a spy from another planet.
Yeah. What planet are you from? I gotta go.
Hey, you didn't tell us.
I'll bet we're wrong. I'll bet he models for voodoo masks. How about that? Look, I didn't do anything to you guys. Why don't you leave me alone?
What'd I do? Did I do something to him?
No. Did I?
No, you see, we just want to be buddies, that's all. Hey, where you going?
Home.
What's your name anyway?
I'll bet it's Frankenstein.
Is that your name? Frankenstein?
Ugly, ugly, double ugly.
Come on back. How'd you like to have a face like that?
Boy, if I did, I'd get me one of those French, what do you call them, guillotines, and use it.
Wait till the rest of the kids get a look at him.
We'll be the only school with our own personal monster. Hey, I just got a real awful thought.
Yeah? What?
How'd you like to have him marry your sister?
Billy,
What?
why are you just sitting there?
I don't know.
Well, shouldn't you be getting dressed?
What for?
There's a school dance tonight, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Well?
Well, what?
Well, why aren't you getting ready?
I'm not going.
Oh, aren't you feeling well?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Well, then why aren't you going?
I just don't feel like it.
Oh, that's nonsense. You'll have a good time.
I'm gonna stay home.
When I was in school, I went to all the dances, and so did your father.
Well, I'm not.
Is there some special reason?
No, I just don't want to, that's all.
Oh, it'd be good for you. You never mingle at all.
Oh, it's okay.
No, it's not. I thought you'd get all over that when we left Oakwood. If anything, you're worse. You never have any of your friends over to the house. You never go any place. What's wrong with you, Billy?
Nothing. I just want to stay home and read. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to have your father give you a good talking to.
There's nothing for him to tell me.
People have been saying things, hurting your feelings again, haven't they?
Oh, Mom, please, don't worry about it.
Well, I do worry about it. You should go out and fraternize more. Why, when people get to know you,
They'll what?
they'll get to like you.
That's not what you were going to say.
Of course it was.
You were going to say they'll forget about what I look like.
Well, after all, handsome is as handsome does.
Then I guess I haven't been doing so hot.
Now, that's just ridiculous. I want you to go to that dance tonight, and I want you to have a good time.
Hi.
Hi.
Going in?
I don't know.
Well, you can dance, can't you?
Yeah.
Not scared?
Why should I be scared?
Just wondering.
Well, I'm not.
Who are you going to ask to dance?
I don't know.
If I were you, I'd ask Diane Marshall.
Why?
Oh, just 'cause.
'Cause why?
Nothing.
Well, come on, tell me.
It's just what I heard, that's all.
What's that?
That she sort of likes you.
How do you know?
I just know it.
Well, you must have found out some way. How?
Debbie Cartwright told me.
What'd she say?
Well, you gotta know everything, don't you?
Well, you gotta tell me. What'd she say?
Well, she said she thought you had a very good mind in algebra.
Well, that doesn't mean she wants to dance with me.
Sure she does. If she likes you, she'll dance with you.
How do you know that?
Dames are nuts. Look, are you gonna go inside or not?
Well, okay.
Now just walk right over to her and ask her to dance.
Suppose she says no.
Oh, she won't.
How do you know?
Oh, take my word on it. I know. I told the jerk to ask Diane Marshall to dance.
And what did he say?
He said okay.
You're kidding. How'd you get him to do it?
I told him she dug his mind.
Oh, man, that's a real low trick.
Yeah, well, it'll serve her right for not going on a spring hayride with me.
Hey, suppose she does dance with him.
Are you out of your skull? She wouldn't dance with him if he had 3 legs.
Look, there he goes walking over there now. Boy, I wish I could hear this.
Hey, wait up. How'd you make out, lover?
You got your laugh. Satisfied?
Oh, I don't know what you mean.
Diane Marshall never wanted to dance with me.
No kidding?
So why don't you just beat it and leave me alone?
I'll bet you didn't ask her the right way.
What do you mean?
Well, you gotta be the master, see? Don't ask them if they want to dance. Tell them they do. Hey, what'd she say to you?
She said no.
No, I mean her exact words. Did she get shook when you asked her?
No.
Oh. Well, what did she do?
Look, the joke's over. Why don't you ask her if you want to know?
Now, you gotta tell me something. Did you really think she'd ever dance with you?
Why shouldn't she?
Look in the mirror, that's why.
You shut up.
Maybe if you put a flag over your head, that girls would date you out of patriotism.
Ugly, ugly.
Only one way to stop them.
And to look like you must take ugly pills 3 times a day.
After all, handsome is as handsome does.
You got a face like a carved pumpkin. Is your birthday on Halloween?
Ugly, ugly, double ugly.
Get away from me, will you? Get away!
What are you gonna do with that brick? Hang it around your neck and jump into the... Hey, look out, you'll... Oh.
Dave? I didn't mean to. Dave, come on. Get up. I'm sorry. It was just that... Please. Please get up, please.
Ugly, ugly, double ugly.
No, I'm not ugly. I'm not. I'm good. I'm good.
That was the first act of Double Ugly with Dave Duvall as Billy. I'd like to take just a moment here to thank those of you who have sent us cards and letters regarding Heartbeat Theater. It's encouraging and gratifying to know that so many of you enjoy our program and take something from it. I'd like to remind those of you who haven't yet written to drop a card to this station, which brings Heartbeat Theater to you as a part of its public service schedule. They're vitally interested in knowing your reaction to the show. And remember to continue your support of all of the many and necessary activities of the Salvation Army. Now, Act 2 of Double Ugly.
But why, Billy? Why did you hit that boy? What were you thinking of?
Look, Mom, I don't want to talk about it. Maybe jail's the best place for me. I don't care.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Fortunately, he's not badly hurt, so you won't be in any real trouble.
Yeah? Well, if he bothers me again, I'll do the same thing.
Billy, don't talk that way.
Well, why not? It's the way I feel.
You can only make things worse for yourself. The probation officer says as it is, you'll only get a court reprimand and probation.
It doesn't make any difference.
Oh, I swear it's getting so that I don't understand you at all.
Did you ever?
What kind of way is that to talk?
What am I supposed to say? I'm sorry? Well, I'm not. Dad taught me a long time ago not to let anybody push me around. It took me a long time to learn it. But I finally did.
Oh, I just don't know what to do about you.
Well, then don't do anything. Just leave me alone.
Nobody else in our family on either side has ever gotten into any trouble before. But you have to drag our good name through this. If I only knew why.
You always keep telling me handsome is as handsome does. Well, maybe I finally took a good look.
Cross the ball, will you? Thanks. Say, that was a perfect strike. You like to come in and play a couple of innings?
No, thanks.
You got a good arm.
It's all right, I guess.
How do you do at the plate?
Okay.
Well, we're in the market for a good fielder. You sure you won't change your mind? Well, anytime you feel like it, just drop around. We're always recruiting.
I'll remember.
I'm Lieutenant Parsons.
Lieutenant?
That's right. This is the Salvation Army Youth Center team.
You the manager?
Manager, coach, water boy, name it, I do it. Or try.
You've got uniforms and everything.
Yes, it took a lot of work, but we finally got them. Well, anytime you feel like you want to take a couple of swings, come by. You know where we are.
Thanks.
Positive I can't persuade you to stay.
I got something I gotta do. Besides, you wouldn't want me on your team anyway.
Really? Why not?
Oh, it's a long story.
Well, I think I'd like to hear it.
Maybe I'll drop around sometime and tell you.
Why don't we make it soon? Hmm? Oh, I don't believe I got your name.
Billy. Billy Carlin.
I've got to go, Billy, but we've got one conversation coming up.
How do you figure that?
You've got to convince me that we wouldn't want you on our team. I'm not so sure. Well, we practice here every day that the weather allows, so if you happen to be around, drop by, huh?
I'll do that.
I'll be looking for you. I mean it.
Sure, you'll be looking for me, all right. Then you'll start looking at me. I can't belong to any team. Nobody who's different can belong to anything. First, somebody'll look at me a little too long, then somebody'll say something, and then I'll do something bad. I gotta do something bad, 'cause I'm ugly.
Ugly, ugly, double ugly.
That's right. I'm ugly. And I'm bad.
Hi, Billy. I was hoping you'd drop by. We're just going to get started. Come on, I'll introduce you to the boys and you can get on one of the teams.
I don't know.
You don't know what?
You said something about having a talk the other day. And I gotta talk to somebody. And quick.
There's no time like now.
But you've got your game.
Oh, the boys don't need me. You fellows get started. I'll be there in an inning or so. Now, let's go inside and do some of that talking.
Well, I don't know too much about your Salvation Army. I know you've got bands that play on the corners and people who collect money in tambourines, and that you pick up old clothes and give them to the poor. But you've got something to do with God, too, haven't you?
That's our main reason for being, Billy. To help do God's work on earth.
Oh. Well, maybe you can tell me something then.
I'll try.
Why did God make me ugly?
Ugly? Is there something ugly about you, Billy?
Oh, come on, Lieutenant, you're not blind.
All right, then, let's put it this way. I don't know you well enough to be able to tell if there's anything ugly about you.
Well, how well do you have to know me to take a look at my face?
Oh, that's what you mean. I guess that's a mistake that a lot of people make.
Mistake? What do you mean?
Ugliness isn't the way a person's features are made.
No. What is it then?
Well, suppose we say that ugliness is a way of life, a way of thinking and doing, just the way real beauty is. Ugliness is a warp of the soul, a twist of the mind. Let's call it another word for evil. And I seriously doubt if you're an evil person, Billy.
Well, I am. Right now, I'm doing a year's probation because I hit another kid over the head with a brick. I fractured his skull. Isn't that evil?
It certainly wasn't the most Christian thing you might have done. But why you did it is important, too.
I did it because he was laughing at me, calling me names.
Names like ugly?
That's right. And I just couldn't take it anymore. As long as I can remember, kids have been running after me, laughing, calling me names. Sometimes, even when I'm by myself, I hear this voice inside my head shouting, ugly, ugly, double ugly. And all my life I've been running away from it. Well, I finally quit running.
And you hit back. That's understandable. Billy, you asked me why God made you ugly. God doesn't make anything that's ugly. That's strictly the province of man. He makes ugliness and pain and fear. God created patterns for the universe and for mankind, and everything that exists falls within those patterns. The tight binding restrictions, they're man's work. Ugliness isn't hereditary, Billy. It's committed. For example, we don't actually know what Jesus or any of his disciples looked like, and actually it doesn't matter. It's what they did that makes them beautiful and holy to us. But, on the other hand, we've got photographic evidence that Abraham Lincoln was far from a physically handsome man, yet there wasn't a single stain of ugliness in his soul.
Well, that's all okay, but how are you supposed to live with people who are either laughing at you or keeping away from you because they don't like what you look like?
Well, the answer is simple to tell you, Billy, but difficult to accomplish, I'm afraid.
Well, go ahead.
Rather than making them like what you look like, make them like what you are.
But I'm no saint or Abraham Lincoln. I'm me. And I don't want people to stay away from me or calling me names or laughing at me.
And are the people who would do that the people you would want for friends anyway?
What do you mean?
How good of a friend can you possibly make of someone who accepts or rejects your friendship on the basis of what you happen to look like?
I guess I never thought of it that way.
Well, maybe it would be a good thing to start.
You know, I'm really glad I decided to talk to you, Lieutenant Parsons.
I'm glad you did too, Billy.
I can be just as handsome or ugly as I want to be.
It'll take work. Lots of work. But we'll do it together. What do you say?
I'll try.
That's the most you can ask of any man, that he try. Now, let's go out and meet the team.
That was the final act of Double Ugly, starring Dave Duvall as Billy Carlin. Others in the cast were Sam Edwards, Charles Dugdale, and Paula Winslow. Be sure to be with us again next week for another Heartbeat Theater story, a presentation of the Salvation Army. Heartbeat Theater is produced in Hollywood and is broadcast overseas by the Armed Forces Radio Service. Until next week, this is your host, C.P. McGregor, saying thanks for listening and have a happy week ahead.